There is a fifth dimension.
A dimension of sound.
Damn it, Frank! We tell him to be quiet. I spilled my hot cup of Uranus again.
A dimension of sight.
Hey, Arch. I'm gonna sock you in the puss.
A dimension of mind.
Nan Adams, is that you?
Next stop, the Twilight Zone.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the 100th episode of the Fifth Dimension of Twilight Zone podcast. I am your host, Nick, and it's shaking up in this bitch. Triv and everybody's died, and
Look at
we're
Dan
here.
go.
I know. Dan, stop being so
Calm
excited, man. Yeah, right.
I'm
motion
British,
blur is
so
out
this
of
is the
control.
most jubilant I can get. I mean, I can maybe
Yeah,
make
yeah.
the logo wobble a little bit, but that's
Yeah, you're getting a
that's
little
usually
too-
reserved for a
you're
new
getting
king. So
You're getting a little too TT'd in here.
I know, man. Calm the fuck down.
Oh my god.
Your
If
English
you're
is
careful,
showing.
if you're all not careful, I'm going to swap to the Mike Ditka logo, and we'll
Oh,
be
no.
having problems.
Oh,
Da
God, no.
Bears.
Da bears.
Damn, actually, Dan, we should get you to come to Chicago, man. You go visit Soldier Field and
You die.
the Bean. You
Yeah.
flick the bean.
Murder.
I'm actually going there in April, so, yeah.
Well, it's been nice knowing you, Triv. It's been a very good friendship.
And we got
Where will the
we have
sun
it-
be held?
Jacob, I leave my theater to
in the
you
cornfield.
because you're the only
Wait,
one that hasn't
what?
tried to take it over.
What?
Yes.
What?
Hang on.
Yes.
I
Well, I
thought
mean,
that
it's
I was
alright.
entitled. At the very least, I thought I was going to get the memorial bathroom. I
You
did
can have the
donate
memorial
to that, so-
bathroom, but at the
She still
at
hasn't
the-
fixed it.
Yes, I have. New theater was fixed.
Sure, it was. That's why I said out of
You
order.
haven't been there since it was renewed, you dork.
I urinated in that theater before any of you.
That's right. So I am contractually obligated to leave it to him.
Those floors
There
are
you go.
sticky because of one man.
I don't know what you're eating, man, but you're out putting something unique.
Asparagus.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, guys,
And
if Trip does
marshmallows.
die, if Trip does die in Chicago, we can always build her
If.
a new person to a grandma.
When Triv dies in Chicago.
True.
God damn it.
Build her into a body electric.
Oh, man.
But no, this is the Twilight Zone podcast, guys. It's January 1st. Even though we're filming on January 17th or December 17th, it's January
Yeah,
1st.
don't
people.
don't let people see behind the curtain.
I always let people see the behind the curtain. See,
I love
Oh, God.
showing people
That's what
behind
she
my
said.
curtains.
Oh my god. No, we are Twilight Zone podcast. We talk about Rod Serling's famous TV series. We've hit 100 episodes. I don't think I ever figured that would happen because Triv kept going, it's never gonna happen.
What?
No,
I didn't say
never gonna
shit, you
happen.
dork.
I had to tell Dan, even though I didn't know him at the time. I had to tell Jacob, I'm like, guys, she just doesn't want me to do it.
Fuck's
She just
sake.
doesn't
Yeah.
think I can
Yeah.
handle it. It's too long and girthy.
That's what she said.
I can remember the first episode where she threw that giant pitcher of water at your head because you said the Twilight Zone wrong in the first sort of flub. You were like, get it right, and then it sort of smashed against the wall behind you. It was very dramatic.
Yeah, I'm like,
Because
yeah, I
my
was like-
arms work. That's why that happens.
Oh, you did
Why
it
do
with
you
your
think-
teeth. You had it like held in your mouth. You went "Rah," and just sort of like lobbed it
So-
across the. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
I mean, in all honesty, why do you think I hide behind Nan Adams? Because she protects us all by killing grandmas and people on bridges and stuff like that.
Hey,
so,
she failed in her mission.
right? she failed on the mission and then succeeded.
And then they pulled off her mask, found out it was Nan Adams, and she went, I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids and
And you
facsimile
asshole that
corp.
name Anne. And you asshole name Anne. Oh,
An
God.
asshole? Is her name An
Nan
asshole? Yeah, Nan
Nan
asshole.
Nan asshole. So, anyways,
I just repeat things that I think people said. That is my job on this show. People say things, I misconstrue it, and I repeat it because I either can't hear or I have a very dirty mind. That's my
That's
job
okay.
here, people.
We love you.
that's the
more.
only reason I brought you on, Jacob, because you have a very dirty mind.
Circus penises, Look it up, people. Look it up.
So, anyways,
They're at the South Mall.
right? But We're also on audio feeds like Anchor, SoundCloud, and all that good stuff. So rate and subscribe. Guys, 100 episodes.
That's crazy.
40 of them
I've
with
only been
Jacob.
on like 50, right?
Yeah, 40 of them with Jacob. I think about 30 of them with Dan. So it's
How many have
don't
I been
know.
on for? You leave me out intentionally,
One?
don't you?
I always say one because you won't give me your theater. You never sold me your theater. No, I'm
Fine.
kidding.
She only missed one when she was in her transitional period.
Yes, she's still in that transition. Didn't you know that?
Is that why my voice hasn't cracked yet?
I thought it was you're becoming a butterfly. When's
Yes,
this happening?
absolutely.
Was it a moth? I think it's gonna be a moth.
Probably a moth.
Moth for
I'm not sure I have the ability to become a butterfly.
Yeah, Randy from South Park can become a butterfly. Trev, you can become a butterfly.
I'm dubious about that, but you know.
Yeah,
I tried to
but be
provide
fair,
dick to phone services, so you know.
to be fair, Trev, when you die in Chicago, we can always play with your marbles or play with your eyeballs as marbles.
The fact that that got repeated so many times, I was like, okay, does this kid want to play with those eyes as marbles? What the hell is going on?
I don't know, man. These kids are bastard children.
the
They're
origin
mean.
story of Buffalo Bill.
There you go.
Like the old
Yeah.
timeline
Look at
Mary
this
Poppins
wig.
kids.
Ooh, in these eyes.
Ooh, in this hand.
just
Puts
shove
the
'em down
eyes
a
in its
chute.
head where it gets
Yep.
the hose again.
They come in and the dad's just dressed
So-
like
so
Buffalo
I've
Bill
got a
doing
question
goodbye
if-
horses.
So I have a question. So if I just shove a bunch of random like body pieces down any
Garbage
like
chute?
thing,
Where are we
garbage
going
chute,
with this?
yeah.
Oh,
Will I be able to make my own granny?
no, but you have now been put on a FBI watch list after saying that
Oh,
line on the
Jake.
internet.
Jake, don't you think I was already on one?
Yes, you're on a whole new one now.
Yay!
She's on
New
the
accomplishments.
she's on the JC wanted list, the James Corden wanted list.
Oh, fuck that.
No, but in all honesty, the three of us have been on for quite a while. Dan has been on for a few episodes. It's the 100th episode. I don't know how I feel about that. It's crazy. We're gonna be talking about an episode that I don't know if you guys liked. I enjoyed, but maybe I was really tired when I watched it, so maybe the sentimentality and the sadness kind of got to me going, oh man,
Aw.
I cried. I
Your
cried for
heart
an hour.
grew 3 times today.
Yeah, and then I watched Wish and it kind of disappeared. It went through 3 sizes smaller.
And there's your
Oh,
review
driving.
of Wish, in case you wanted to know.
Yeah, exactly. Don't watch Wish, people. But no, 100 episodes, crazy. We're kind of following along.
Take
with
a
the,
shot every time he says 100 episodes.
I honestly didn't think it would ever happen. No, like our schedules are busy. Like I said, behind the curtain, we are recording this a little bit early because people have to go see their families and take vacations and live in England, and I don't know. I'm the only one that's gonna be actually editing videos on Christmas because I have to do my best of it. And this is what the 100th episode is about, people. It's about Jacob's looking at a sex box.
This is what every episode is. You just cut it out.
Well, not all the time. If I gotta shrink it down under 3 hours, I have to.
We never shrink it down. Never.
That's what she said.
Oh shit. So anyways, we're here to talk the 100th episode of the Twilight Zone. Not actually, technically, it's not our 100th episode. It's the 100th episode of the Twilight Zone. This is just episode 100. We'll just go with that because we've done a couple other, non Twilight Zone episodes where we rank or whatever. But we're gonna be talking about actually, Happy New Year's, by the way, to anybody who's celebrates New Year's, because it's New Year's. It's not December 17th, I promise.
Yay.
Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah. So anyways, Dan, welcome back. We haven't really introduced you yet, Dan. The other two, they already know they're here, but Dan, welcome back for your his 6th episode this year. I think you've been on. You were on one that I wasn't on because I was really sick or moving or doing something in the ether or whatever. So welcome back to January 1st. Even though it's still yeah.
And thank you so much for having me back. It's always nice to be here with you guys. I just want to put on the record as well. I think this is the first time I've actually been on an episode where I'm not dealing with some form of food poisoning, illness, or like exhaustion. So
Exactly.
today's the first one where I'm actually feeling pretty okay.
You actually
Yay.
passed
We'll see
you
what we
passed
can
the
do with that.
exhaustion on to me.
Yeah.
No, he's just passed the exhaustion on to me. And by the way, Dan, I really do appreciate that your package is still somewhere in like Kansas at the moment. So I mean,
Yes.
it's so nice that we haven't received it yet.
Your package
Trips.
is in Kansas, Dan.
It's
still
just
waiting
got to
for your
go through the
squawking.
Kansas Customs office one more time, and then it'll be fine.
Right,
Your
When they send
package
it back,
is
well,
in Kansas.
Rob,
We're
if
not
you're
in
listening, I
Kansas
need you to
anymore,
go to
Dan.
Kansas and pick up the package. Shit.
Your package is
Anyways.
not in Kansas anymore.
your package has been crushed into a cube. You have 30 minutes to collect your cube.
Yep.
Good old Simpson.
That cube is getting licked because there's a lot of chocolate in there.
Your
Mm.
package
Oh,
is
yeah.
getting licked, Dan.
Ooh.
Shit.
I
God
wondered what
damn
that
it.
feeling was.
The waitress said that's the wrong end of the package, Triv.
Oh
You're
God.
the wrong end of the
okay.
package. Too
Okay.
much chocolate.
Jesus.
Any end of the package being licked is okay. Don't worry.
I don't want to hear about people licking my package and saying it tastes like chocolate. That is not.
That's the wrong end of the package. The chocolate end is
The
the wrong end.
snozberries taste like snozberries.
Oh, God.
Oh God. Why did Timothy Chalamet say that in the movie? He's like, I fucked a peach and I tasted a snozberry.
Oh God.
Anyways, so season 3, episode 35 is what we're talking about today, which is I Sing the Body Electric, directed by James Sheldon and for some reason another director, William F. Claxton, written by Ray Bradbury, because Ray Bradbury is I think he's a talented writer. I could be wrong about
Oh yeah.
that.
No, he's
done
very
some
talented.
things.
Yeah, he's done
Pineapple
something.
5-1.
Yeah, I mean, I may have had to read, Something Wicked This Way Comes. I mean, I don't know. He's a
And
writer.
actually,
He has some other mild credits to his name.
Just
Yeah.
a couple. He also submitted several scripts to the Twilight Zone, but this was the only one produced. So I guess
How
take
is
that
that
however you will.
possible? How is that
I was
fucking
good- just-
possible?
I was gonna say it blows my mind that this guy turned up like the way that it was phrased where I read that, it made it sound like he was like stood outside the building just going, I got another one, this, and they're like, no, and he's like, okay, I got another one, this, and eventually they were just like, just give him one, get him out of the building, don't give him his coat back, get him out of here.
Rod's like, if I put this in the Twilight Zone, will you go away? Yes.
Well, they must have
Yes.
enjoyed the way it turned out because they readapted it for an NBC movie called The Electric Grandmother in 1982. So
Was it also adapted into Bicentennial Man, the most boring ass movie that Barry Levinson ever
Hey,
directed?
is Bicentennial
I like
Man a granny?
Bicentennial Man.
And I like AI, but we don't discuss those things.
All kinds of
I
good
don't like
corn,
AI.
mince, and
AI
cheese.
is a piece of shit.
Wait, where's the
Blue
mute button on
fairy.
Triv?
The blue fairy will make me real and bring my mommy back. The blue fairy fucking aliens.
Hey, I didn't
We're
say
not
all of it was
talking-
good.
Or
I didn't say,
robots.
I didn't say all of it was good. I said the first like 20 minutes are good.
The
You know
hell
what's
is
funny?
this episode?
I literally have only gotten through the written by Ray Bradbury.
Oh
And,
God.
We have
It's
all come
also-
in here way too
Ooh,
horny. We all need to leave right
Bradbury.
now.
All right, Bradbury. You can come near
I
me
sing the
anytime.
Penis Circus Electric. Ooh.
Oh no, something wicked this way comes. Mm.
Yes, it does.
I love an electric body, the way it vibrates through me. Mm.
Next week, Cavender is coming.
I mean, there's nothing better than when you see this as the picture for the story based on the story.
Yeah,
Oh man.
It's always nice to see Santa in his goth phase.
You know what?
Grizzly Adams is still getting work. Ooh.
The first time I saw that, I thought it was
Risen.
Cadaver was coming, and it's like, oh, we got a stiffy coming.
So
Watch
Walt
out,
Whitman
Doc. The cadaver is coming.
Walt Whitman started out as Abraham Lincoln and then turned into whatever this guy is.
Nice.
He looks like the guy who used to lead Prefab Sprout.
What the hell is that?
You know, Prefab Sprout. They did like one of the biggest 80s bands ever. Gosh. Like a whole 3 people have heard of them. They sang King of Rock and Roll. It's
Yeah.
I'll find a picture. Don't worry. Don't
Okay,
worry, guys.
okay.
I'm going your way.
So,
Anyway.
anyways, so the story is written by Bray Bradbury. It's a short story. It's based off the title named after Walt Whitman's 1855
Oops.
poem. Apparently, who the fuck is that?
It's Pimp Whitman.
Oh, here's a better one. Here's his actual. This is the one that looked the closest. That was him cleaned up. This is him looking dirty.
Ooh,
Oh shit!
like dirty. Oh,
I know what my next look is.
No, he looks like Alan Moore.
He does kind of.
Says he's probably more friendlier than Alan
Oh
Moore.
my god.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm. Alan Moore's actually quite polite for a Birmingham person. So, like, if you've been to Birmingham, you will completely understand Alan Moore. I don't live too far from Birmingham, so I get it.
Alan
to
Moore,
college in
etc.
Birmingham.
Different Birmingham.
Oh,
Mm.
there's also a
Possibly.
Leeds right down the
there
street
you
from
go.
Birmingham. Whatever.
So, anyways,
You know what?
City full
I'm
of-
pretty sure you could like take all the bits and create like an offshoot podcast, like 100.2.
I think we've all just like gotten really drunk or something. Just put this out on like January 2nd as the We Drank Too Much Wine podcast.
Fuck it
all
all
the bits and
podcast.
bobs.
Fuck you, mod.
Mm.
Burnley, you're probably just full of a bunch of fucking mods.
Yep.
Riding around
AI
in little
motherfuckers.
Vespas,
Yeah.
5,000 rear view mirrors.
Goddamn
Oh my
Burnley
Dressed
Nail and
constantly-
Partridge in the Pear Tree.
Goddamn
admittedly
Burnley
dressed
constantly
nice.
dropping your consonants and vowels all over the place with words like tint and in it.
Oh
At
god,
the time.
it's so true. It's so true.
You bastards.
So after everyone's finally gone from listening to our episode, this is production code 4826, air date May 18th, 1962. We're one episode away from the third season, onto the fourth season. Jacob's all excited, I'm sure. This is how I feel right now is how Jacob's gonna feel after the fourth season. He's gonna be like, it's gonna look like he's gone through a war.
Now
don't
my
know, Dan.
question is, will Jake look like Rudy Giuliani did outside the Four Seasons like gardening center during the election?
Or will he be inside the hotel where he's like black paints like down his like actually there's a thing where like his apparently his lawyer looks like Gary Oldman from the Fifth Element, so
I say more power to him. If you're gonna have a lawyer, have them look like Gary Oldman. It doesn't even matter which Gary Oldman. It could be Dracula. It could be Fifth Element. It could be Gordon. It could be anybody.
Absolutely want Dracula with his big butt head. This is my lawyer. The shadow comes over. Yeah. Your honor.
Oh, sorry.
yeah, thank you for that. All right, so the episode oh my god, this episode's gonna be like 8 hours long. 100th episode, people. I can get this podcast under control.
No.
Because Jacob's got to read
Yet.
3 narrations in this. We got to get to 3 narrations by Jacob. Anyways, while Trip...
Oh, very fancy.
It's a cashew.
It is a cashew. Sorry.
The fuck is that?
Oh dear God, Nick, I do not envy you having to edit this
Oh,
shit.
it's Baby Bink.
Oh my God, it is.
Baby Binkful.
What the hell's
Is
going
that
on?
the baby from Train Spotting?
No, Baby's Day Out.
Oh,
It's one of the stunt binks.
Red
Probably
Letter
one of the ones
Media has a bunch of them.
Anyways, where were we? This episode stars Josephine Hutchinson, David White, Vaughn Taylor, Doris Packer, Veronica Cartwright, Susan Crane, and Charles Herbert. Hi, Herbert. Is that what his name? Herbert. Little cat. Hi, Herbert. All right, so So 100th episode, we're talking about I Sing the Body Electric, Ray Bradbury story, Rod Serling, telling stories about grandmas being put together and angry kids, and I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, I Sing the Body Electric. Jacob has 3 narrations apparently in this episode, but Mr. Rogers, we got into his neighborhood. He has 3 kids named Ann, Karen, and Tom. Ann's a bitch. No, Ann's a child. She's angry. Karen's Karen. Tom is just wanting to play with eyeballs.
Yes.
So, yeah. I don't
You
know.
do
I don't
have
know
a
what you guys
couple-
think about this episode. Yeah, go ahead.
You do have a couple of I guess recognizable people. The actress that plays Anne was also the child in Birds, like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Yeah, she's scared of aliens coming out of John Hurt's chest, and
Also true.
you
You
know
guys
the
are
war doc,
missing the biggest
The word-
cameo in the whole thing.
the war doctor.
No,
I was gonna
Walt
say
Disney played the dad.
Walt
No,
Disney
the-
played.
what wasn't he the
Pretty
guy?
sure
I
that
thought
was
he
Walt
was the
Disney.
guy. I was
Ah,
gonna say he's the guy from Beverly Hillbillies, isn't he? He
he
played
played
the
Larry. He played Larry Tate in Bewitched.
no did oh yeah well he didn't he play hang on sorry
No,
I
that
should've
was
looked-
was it Ernest Scared Stupid? He was George Granville in Brewster's Millions.
I completely no that's definitely not him. Who the fuck was he?
No, it was Jim Varney. He wasn't he in the was he in the Beverly Hillbillies?
No,
The new one.
he looked really familiar to me and I thought it was
Yeah, he played Larry Tate in The Bewitched. He's Mr. Cobb in Mary Tyler Moore Show and Dynasty and Brewster's
Dynasty.
Millions and Great Imposter and The Apartment. He was in The
Okay.
Apartment.
That's probably where I knew him from. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to off track things because
Damn
it'd
it,
be the
Triv.
first time today.
Damn it, Triv. Why are you
Triv.
taking us off track?
How dare you derail this podcast? We were on track until you did this.
No,
for like
we were
a
on the-
minute.
We were on the 100th episode and you derailed us. We were going
Yep.
perfectly down straight and narrow, and Triv just like, oh, I thought that was from the thing with the thing, and like, no, Triv,
Ah.
no. And it's like, I don't like you anymore. Go away. You're not my mother. You're not my grandmother. My grandmother left me for Bugs Bunny and Aunt Nedra, and Aunt Nedra's angry, and yeah. This episode. Anyways, what do you guys think about this episode? Like, what do you guys I mean, it's basically, company has the ability to build robots or robots.
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 Why do they call them
Robots.
robots? Why are they called robots?
They call them
I don't know
robots
why
in
they're
this
called
one.
Robot. No,
No,
call
they
them
say robots.
Do they?
Yeah,
The
they
It's like a
guy-
Jerry Seinfeld sketch.
In the very beginning, says
No.
robots.
like
Somebody
a
else
Jerry
says
Seinfeld.
robots. He says robots. Now, Rod never says robots, but I'm assuming since
Mhm.
Rod does say robots, this other guy was like kiss ass, and he was like, "Well, I'm going to pronounce it like the boss." Robots.
Yeah, Ray
True.
Bradbury's like, I'm trying to kiss ass here. It's robots, not robots. I mean, this episode has a lot of familiarities when it comes to like the idea of loss and the idea of like building your own robot mother or whatever. I mean, there's been episodes that have like mimicked this kind of premise before. But I mean, what do you guys like? Before we get into the narration, what do you guys think about it? Because I personally didn't mind this episode, even though it's like really low on a lot of people's rankings. But I mean, what's your take on this episode? Dan, anyone want to go? I'll let anyone who wants to go, so I can fall asleep.
I mean, from my own perspective, it was one of those stories where I found it very inoffensive. I didn't think it was anything particularly astounding, but I didn't think it was awful. I thought, if anything, it's kind of got a bit of mixed messaging going on. So, like, I feel like with the time that they had to do this kind of story, they weren't able to kind of hit the depths that they kind of needed to explore with it. So, I mean, the obvious sort of metaphor here is it's kind of the exploration of how children cope with the loss of a parent and kind of finding that you need to have that family structure there or that support network there in order to get you back on track so that you can kind of heal, so to speak. But they kind of really rush through a lot of it. They don't really pause. They give one example, which is Anne, who is just like the extreme end of the wedge of dealing with the loss of a parent.
Well, Dan,
which
I'm
is-
sorry to say, she saw somebody's alien chest like burst out of somebody's chest. I mean, what do you expect? Gosh, it's probably the grandmother. It was probably the mother that died. He's all upset because that alien.
I saw John Hurt's chest explode, and I hate everyone now. I'm angry.
Yeah, even though it happened like 10, 15 years later.
Yeah. So they
Yeah.
rush through that kind of, she hates the robot nanny, Robogran. And then Robogran saves her life, and then suddenly she loves it. And I feel like, had they had like an extra half an hour maybe, or even an extra 15-20 minutes to just expand on that a little bit more and kind of make it a little bit more of a gradual change rather than just, oh, you saved me once, you're going to be with me for the rest of my life, yay. It probably would have been a bit more effective. And then, I mean, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but the fact as well that towards the end of the episode they then time skip like 20 years.
The Rocky homage.
Yeah, and the fact as well that they then kind of end the episode with her going, well, I said I was going to be with you forever. Yeah, I'm going to be lowered into a big vat of molten lava and sort of repurposed for scrap like Terminator 2. So bye, guys. And then she just runs off. Basically. I mean, the episode. I was going to say, the episode is good when it gets to the end credits, and I thought, I wonder what else you can order from that science fiction magazine. Did they do sex bots? Can I buy sex bots?
You order. I think it's funny to me because, it's a magazine and they have the ability to create things in this magazine, like the company has, which is called I Sing the Body Electric, and I don't know. It's just I like it. I like the sentimentality, and I laugh because I feel bad for Jacob because we're gonna get like halfway through this or we're already halfway through this episode, but we're gonna get like 90% of the episode done, and he's gonna have to read that like long ass narration, which leads into like the last like 3 minutes of the episode. But I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it for what it's worth. But what did you guys think?
I think you're
I
muted.
thought it was fine.
Oh.
No, I just wasn't talking.
Sorry.
I mean, it was fine. I didn't love it or hate it. I mean, I think I do wonder if maybe back in the 60s it had more where we had, I don't know, they did like lots of human like robots and stuff like that back then. Maybe not as many, and it just seemed a little bit more, that idea maybe seemed a bit more fresh then. Now it's just kind of, we've seen this idea a thousand times. And there was nothing particularly like amazing about it. I like the idea or the sentiment behind the episode to a degree. Like there are some, like kind of like Dan said, it had some conflicting messages here or there, but overall I thought it was fairly wholesome, I guess.
It's funny to me that you guys really liked the last episode and I didn't like it, and I actually enjoyed this episode and you guys didn't. At least
I
two
haven't
people
said
didn't.
my piece yet.
I'm just saying.
Admittedly, I
It's just
watched this
funny.
in the car.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Like literally while I was driving.
Got the
Oh, so
knees
you were
on
the one that
steering
ran over the
wheel.
grandma. Yeah.
I was on a 5-hour journey today, not to an island. And on my way back, I was like, shit, I haven't watched the episode yet. So I had it like in my little window holder watching it in the car. I don't feel like I missed a lot because of that. I heard the whole thing.
It's pretty straightforward. There's not a
Yeah.
lot to,
But
digest
it
in
just-
that respect.
I mean, I don't know. There was nothing really about it that just like blew me away, but there was nothing about it that I was just like, this is awful. It was just kind of like, hey, this story of, other people, robot nannies, pretty much.
Yeah. It was kind of inoffensive. I wouldn't say I disliked it by any stretch, but it's there. It's sweet to a point, but kind of undercuts that sweetness by
Very
just
middle of the road.
doing weird things.
Yeah.
In
I
that
would say-
5-hour, in that 5-hour journey, Jacob, were you in a delivery truck? Did you see a grandmother?
No, I was in a Nissan Pathfinder.
There you go. See, it wasn't him.
No,
Was it-
no, that was Nan Adams.
Yeah.
He was in disguise. It's a
Disguised
man,
like
baby.
a man. I'm just kidding.
Trev, we've been cutting you off. What'd you think? Jacob. Anyways, what were you? No, I'm just
Asshole.
kidding.
No, I
Gotcha.
just in hearing you guys talk about it, it does actually bring something to mind because, like, at the end, for whatever it is, one way or the other, the fact that as adults, the kids were able to let go of her, which the way she went into stuff, I'm sure that's a more of a Ray Bradbury aspect. Like, oh well, what happens after the story ends? She's like, oh yeah, I'll be put back into this commune with all these other grannies. My body will be melted down. All of these features you love. Yeah, you're never seeing them again, baby. But I got thinking. Like last week's episode was about a guy that couldn't let go of the past. Like he literally turned back into whatever, an 11-year-old child. This was kind of the opposite of that. It would took that loss or that thing about growing up and kind of flipped it on its head, where they let go and they understood that and went off and did their thing. Not that has any bearing on this episode per se. I just thought it was an interesting juxtaposition. The episode itself, I agree. I think there was some interesting ideas. The lady that played Granny was, I thought, incredibly well done. The rest of it, those two kids, man, they got a hold of daddy's credit card. They went to town.
All I could think about when they were looking through those body parts is I was thinking of like Total Recall when they're like, "Oh, think of your perfect woman." They're like,
That part was
demure.
odd. They had like eyeballs
Yeah.
and ears.
It's like a Halloween.
and-
It's like a Halloween set. Like wait, your Halloween, you're like feeling the eyeballs and like it's spaghetti and it's brain. It was really weird.
Yeah,
I'm
the
just
eyeballs
glad
was
no
one
one
thing.
popped one in their mouth.
Then they like go to the
That-
ears and they got like a wall of ears. And I was like, I feel
Yeah.
like this is
Yeah.
like somebody from Vietnam is like collecting ears or something, from fallen enemies. And then they had like noses. And then he talked about how they also had lips and everything else. And I was like, I can't help it. The kids
fingers
were there,
were-
so obviously they didn't. But let's be real. If these types of androids, robots, whatever you want to call them, existed, it wouldn't only be kids there putting together their robot.
Well,
I gotta wonder,
They just
like, do they
they just
have like
have a
a
beat.
old Blockbuster video or mom and pop room where you go in the back and you can pick some other parts?
I was just about to
It
say
was
like
weird
there's a beaded
science.
curtain in the void somewhere.
well, I mean, it's like
They wear bras
Yeah.
on their head and they have like a microwave, and that's kind of what brings their favorite quote granny to life.
Yeah.
right, and then they have the weird curator. It's just like the light pops up and he's like, "Over here's for adults. Over here's for the kids who want to play with the marble eyes."
I honestly kept expecting them to say that the kids were robots or something like
Hmm.
that. Like, because it's Twilight Zone, I'm expecting some type of twist. There never really was one. I mean, there's been a few episodes that haven't really had a twist, and there really wasn't a twist in this one.
Well,
Not
I
that
suppose
I
with
did
Ray,
s-
I suppose with Ray Bradbury, it was a case where you kind of, not that you throw the Twilight Zone formula out the window, but you allow him to do his thing. It's like you allow Sam Raimi to do Sam Raimi things.
but then you get Doctor Strange too.
Yeah, I know.
But
That's a bad
Ray
example.
Bradbury, he always has been like a bit more hopeful. Like if you look at Star
Sure.
Trek and stuff like that, it's always got a very hopeful outlook to.
Oh,
the
he worked
future.
on Star Trek, didn't he?
Ray Bradbury. He
Yeah, I think-
created Star Trek.
No, that was
Oh,
Gene Roddenberry.
Gene Roddenberry.
Oh shit! What am I talking
Yeah,
about? Yeah,
Yeah, Ray Bradbury. I was like, you were talking about how he was hopeful. I'm like, Ray Bradbury created
Yeah,
something wicked this way
whoops.
comes. I'm like, I don't know
cut
about
that
how
out, Nick. I look like an idiot.
Don't worry, I keep all my idiot stuff in there, so I'm keeping it in. Fuck it, we're leaving it in. It's live.
I don't know why I was
You don't
thinking
know
Gene
this is
Roddenberry.
actually airing January 1st. We're actually live right now.
Yeah. Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah.
Yay!
My birthday was last week.
Yay!
I mean, I was going to say, there were two things that really stood out for me in this episode. One was the facsimile limited showroom, mainly because I know the word Lynchian gets thrown around a lot, but like this was positively proto David Lynch style weirdness. Like it was just a black
Yeah.
void
A black
with an
room.
overly smiley guy.
With
Like,
stuff that just like got highlighted.
Yeah, like real arms hanging on the wall that move, and then like it looks
Waiting for a
very,
music to run out.
very surreal. Yeah, very surreal.
Or
I was waiting for the guy from Eraserhead to show up.
Yeah. Just needed smoke. That was all that was missing, was just like some ambient smoke sort of rising. And the only other thing that really, really jumped out at me was the bit where she fixes the kid's kite and suddenly she turns into Spider-Man. She's just got
Oh,
a string
God.
built into her wrist and she sends it to the moon.
Yeah, she's a what are those knives called? They have the different Swiss Army knife. Yeah, she's Swiss Army knife. She's,
Spectre Gadget.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what made this episode better, Jacob. Spectre Gadget.
Da-da-da-da.
But like,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Inspector Grandma.
Was the little girl Penny? Who's the
There you
dog?
go.
Dog.
Shit,
what
what
was his
was
name?
his
Yep.
name?
No, he had like it was like Cosmo or some shit. Brain.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
Brain.
exactly.
Brain.
Or in French, Finot.
Ooh,
Hmm.
fancy.
Dude, get my-
In French,
Frenchie.
Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget.
An Inspector Gadget.
Should just call him
Gadget.
Inspector Clouseau. Actually, Brain was voiced by Frank Welker.
Nice.
Oh, go, Gadget Arms.
Oh man,
Beat
you never
the
thought that
English king dogs.
you never you never thought that Twilight Zone would invoke Inspector Gadget.
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries.
Oh, Dr. Evil. Uh-huh.
So I ask you, how much do you think it costs to build a robot grandma? Do you think the father is super rich?
$25.
Back in the day,
It
that
is,
was
like-
like $1,950 and
$250,000.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you got to bear in mind as well that this episode is technically set in the past for 90% of the runtime, because we pick up in 1962 when she's about to be put in the hydraulic press and crushed. So, like, you got to go 20
so you
years
did buy
back
it for-
nearly.
So he did buy it for $1.
Like 1940s.
Yeah.
I do have to
I
admit,
mean,
there was one thing about it I did like. I like how, like when they talk about what's going to happen to her, I thought that was, for the time, I mean, looking now, it is kind of like if we did have something like that, how it probably would be. The body would be taken apart and repurposed, but the mind or the CPU or whatever, the AI, would probably be just uploaded to a computer, essentially with a bunch of other versions of that. And they would come together and learn, because she even says, we'll come together and we'll talk and we'll learn from each other and all this and that. I was like, that's essentially AI. You'll
yeah.
have
Yeah.
And
these
Bradbury knew his shit.
separate
I mean,
entities that come together and learn from each other that are still the same entity, but doing their separate thing. And they didn't say I'll be uploaded to a hard drive, because I don't think it was really a thing back then. She's like, I'll be uploaded to reel or something. But he essentially did describe being uploaded to a hard drive and that program waiting out until it's needed again to be re-downloaded into another body.
To be fair, I was saying, to be fair, I think the Body Electric, the company would be owned by like MIT or Boston Dynamics or something like that.
Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla.
That does
Yeah.
come with its own terrifying side effects, though, because, like, I know that we saw the nice version where the nanny had, like, the really nice time with the kids and they grew up and had a nice time, but how many of these robots are going to, like, see, like, abuse or, like,
Be
be
Megan.
hit
Like
by cars?
iRobot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Megan
it's
or
going to take
iRobot or something.
six of them seeing murderers to suddenly have Murder Nanny, which would be
That's
less
the
pleasant.
what's the name of that company? They did like the Abraham Lincoln Zombie Slayer or whatever.
Asylum? Not
Yeah,
Asylum.
that's the Asylum version. Murder Granny
The murder.
Coming
We
to
have
a
had
theater
Rapid
near
Granny.
coming to a
Rapid
Walmart $5 bin near you.
you.
Yeah, but it's funny to see, like, Anne is like a very, she has the kind of the true emotions of, like, actually, you know what this episode reminded me of, and this is gonna sound funny, but go with me. It reminded me of what's that movie called, Mrs. Doubtfire, where you have like the angry older kid, and then you have like the two other kids who don't really give a shit. And it's here, like, the two other kids are like, "Hey, let's build ourselves a grandmother or whatever." And the other one's like, "Are you guys fucking kidding me? Mother just died a year ago, and you want to build a grandmother? The pleasures? I mean, what the fuck are you doing?"
I like how the other kids have zero character development, except for one of them
Yeah.
likes to play with people's eyeballs.
Yeah,
It is a
and the other one
character
just
trait.
smiles at everything.
Yeah.
He's like, "Ooh,
They all
this
kind of
guy's
look
so
the
nice."
same age, though, like they're roughly the same height.
I will say the older middle is it the middle daughter, the older one and the younger one actually looked exactly alike. They did a
Yeah.
nice job of getting that to
Are you
look
saying
right.
they all look alike,
They
Nick?
did.
Hmm.
Yes, yes.
What the hell?
In the Twilight Zone, they all look alike.
By the way, I
They're
feel like we're getting
disappointing.
close through the ending narration, and I haven't done the opening narration
Well, we haven't even, to be fair, we haven't even got to the
or
middle,
the middle
narration.
narration.
Yeah.
I don't
One
know
other
if I-
quick, one other quick thing.
Watching it, I was
did.
like, "Am I going to read this or not?" This middle
One other
part, am I going to have to read 3 times?
One other quick thing I did like, and I know we talk about the 60s and how, it's all, obviously it's not all Leave It to Beaver or anything like that, but they had a pretty decent discussion for kids going through grieving. The way that they described, the anger and being able to vocalize that, as far as like, she didn't just die, she ran away. And it was a relatively straightforward thing. And it was like when they've done like suicide or like abuse, they do it in a way that fits the 60s, and I appreciated the way that they did that, because I'm sure a lot of things wouldn't necessarily have tackled that the way that it was. They'd be like, oh, we sent your mom to a farm up north, and that's where they would leave it.
I agree. There was one other thing I noticed. I've just gone back through my notes. Do you guys remember that she suddenly made marbles appear out of nowhere?
Oh, she did that a couple
Yes.
times.
Their eyeballs.
Like, I mean, I know that
They're
she's
her
supposed to be a
eyeballs.
robot. I know she's supposed to be like a robot, and those things, but it doesn't like show like a hand open a little compartment and the marbles pop out or something. She literally just Doctor Who TARDIS materializes marbles into her hand.
I mean, to be fair, like the screen that she was teaching off of words just appeared like in jump cut or whatever it was. So, yeah, Jacob, let's do the first thing, the first opening narration before we
course.
continue, because you want to.
They make a fairly convincing pitch here. It doesn't seem possible, though, to find a woman who must be 10 times better than Mother in order to seem half as good, except, of course, in the Twilight Zone.
So
Nicely done.
they want to make a woman 10 times better. What are they trying to say, Triv? What are the 60s trying to say about women?
You know what? I don't really want to comment on that, because then that will make us go another 3 hours if I could start.
Well, the real question is, you have like sexy grandma coming up. She tells you, what do you want to call her? What do you call her? You don't call her grandma. I know, Jacob, that's not what you're calling her, right?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Now, I suppose there is a distinction. Do you have regular grandma and sexy grandma, or is it like a kind of thing where you swap heads? What's the deal here? Do you just have to
Well, the question
normal
is,
grandma and click in sexy grandma, or
the question is it Helen Mirren or is it
Yes.
B. Arthur?
Helen Mirren.
pre or post Caligula? That's the deal breaker.
Either.
No, is it Shazam? Shazam Helen
Even
Mirren?
then, she's looking her age there. I'd plow the shit out of Helen Mirren.
You heard it here first, folks.
She is the most regal-looking, attractive woman, elderly woman ever.
Let's get a
She's
cue
not
going
that
here,
old,
guys.
though,
That's the
isn't she?
British
She's
way.
only in her 60s, right?
No, she's older than that.
Is she?
Let me.
I don't
I think
care.
she's close to 80, actually.
I'd
Really?
Played
murder
the
it.
Queen.
Yeah, I'd murder
Well, so
that.
did Judi Dench.
78
did
years
Olivia
old.
Colman.
Wow. Yeah, she is good looking.
I'm only interested in the disembodied voice of her from Barbie. That is the only Helen Mirren. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
they
So you
give
want to have her, like, you want to relive the movie Her?
Yes, basically.
Yeah, we had to have a discussion of why they had Rita Moreno instead of Helen Mirren as that character in the movie.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some science behind it. I haven't looked at my notes, but I'm sure it's there.
She's saying the body electric. Just it was Rita Moreno. This grandmother is like the perfect grandmother. She's always positive. She's never negative. She's like, this young girl will come around to me eventually. You just gotta have time. Guys, I've had a couple grandmothers in my life. They're usually a little more stern
Most
than
of us
this.
have.
I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming the grandmother had to have kids so you could be born. I mean, that could be just I don't know.
I was grown in a
Franklin.
lab.
Nick, I think that's very clonist of you.
I try. I try.
You bastard.
You bastard. No, but the stuff before we get to the her almost getting her getting run over by Nan Adams. Like, what do you guys think about that stuff? Like all the stuff going on there.
I mean, from like that part of her getting run over, I think it was a psychological thing to help Anne understand that she wasn't gonna, wasn't gonna rickroll her. She's never gonna,
I'll always
let
be
her
here for
down.
you.
Exactly. She wasn't gonna
Never
let her
gonna
down.
let you down. Never gonna let you get run over by Nan Adams.
See, that was the point for me where the episode kind of turned slightly. Like I I understand what they're trying to do, and I understand time is short, but I really feel that section could have had a little bit longer to sort of stew, maybe have Anne start to soften up a little bit to the idea of it, and that be the thing that finally tips her fully over the edge. But instead it goes from, I hate you and I wish you were in a hydraulic press being crushed in front of me right now, to, you're the greatest person who's ever lived. I'm going to be with you for the rest of my life. I love you. Don't ever leave me. And it's just like, it's a bit too much of a snap of opinion.
Jump
It would be
in
nice
front
to
of a
just have it
car
a bit
for me.
more gradual.
I also love that she has a speakers in her hands, and she just like repeats the words about how she hates grandma to the young girl, and it's just like,
She's
shaming her.
gaslighting her. Yeah.
yeah,
You little bitch, this was what you said to me, and I jumped in front of a car for your ass.
Son of a
so
bitch.
she's using the grandma neck grip imprinting.
Mhm.
Oh man,
I
no,
think
but
that they're trying
yeah.
to be like cinematic with that though too. Like, you've got my best interest because she did an emotional bitch slap basically.
Yeah,
Like
I was just
like
laughing.
Spanish mom with the sandal just like pistol whips her.
You remember? You
Only-
remember?
And if
You
that
remember in
hadn't
the
have
six?
worked, they'd have just eaten her like 5 nights at Freddy's. Just gone straight in, you know.
That's what
You
British moms
remember?
do.
Right. You don't remember in the '60s when people were excited over cars? You remember those days? Anybody? Anybody here?
Cars?
Was not around in the 60s.
Trev, don't lie. When people got excited because they got a brand new car. Now we just like get cars and that's it. They were
I've
excited
never
for
had
that
a new
car.
car.
They were excited for the brand new car.
I was born in the 70s, not the 60s, so I can't speak for them.
Yeah.
Why can't anybody just go?
I do not get an erection over cars, period. So just saying.
Oh, I
I
absolutely
mean,
get
it
an
would have to
erection
be a
over
very
cars,
nice
but
car.
that is not what he said.
What?
Trev,
He said get
if you're getting
excited.
if you're getting erection over cars, we gotta learn. We gotta find out how that transition is going because I'm a little worried about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Apparently it's
in
going
all
very
fairness,
well.
I was going to say, I mean, in all fairness, because of the chemical makeup, it will damage the paint job, so you'd have to clean it quick
Yeah,
or have a backup plan in mind.
it's like when they put bologna on the paint. It's not good.
No.
I'm not joking about that, by the way. Google it. It's a surprisingly true fact.
Very
No,
acidic.
What,
don't
soda?
ask me how I found that out, but
I don't really want to know.
Whoa,
The
soda.
paint was chipping on the hood of my car, and there's a reason.
very horny episode of this show.
Oh, man.
This is a horny show to begin with, so like for me to say it's a very horny, we're in the Twilight Zone here.
That's right.
Kind of a badge of honor when you got like a sports car. You ride around, people see, oh, chip paint on the hood. Look at you.
Guy
I mean, I
really
did just
likes
watch
his
Poor
car.
Things, so right.
True.
But I mean, like most of this is just Anne really upset at her grandma producing marbles and being a Swiss Army knife with where she gets string. She's like a spider, as Triv and Dan said, and then she gets run over, and then she, I don't know, turns into like fucking.
Spider Gran does whatever a Spider Gran can.
She turns into Doctor Doom as a tune where she's like comes up, she's like.
It's a sweater any size. 3:00 siesta time. Look out!
You think she can turn into a slot machine? You think she's the slot machine woman?
Where'd you put the coins?
I don't know.
Oh,
milk,
damn.
milk, lemonade. Go around back where the chocolate's
We're gonna need
made.
to pause a minute. I'll show you some pictures.
Oh.
She just transforms to a
You-
slot machine.
Yeah, you use a debit card. Actually, you slide through any one of 3 slots.
I only have
This whole
Visa.
chick's awesome. She likes sluts.
Fifth call.
Hey, butthead. Chick's awesome. She's a slut.
This is the greatest day of my entire life.
Come to butthead.
What the hell is going on?
That's a
I don't
goddamn.
know.
Hey, Nick, you might want to double check you're looking a little bit soft.
Thank you, Trev. What do you say
Harden
about
up,
me?
Nick. Harden up.
Oh dear.
Talking about old sluts here.
Nick's gone
Stiffen up,
soft.
Buttercup.
I'm gonna turn myself into Big Papa Pump.
Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you all have a great New Year.
Hey, we're all drunk, so I don't know what you're talking about. We're recording this on December 17th as drunks.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm always drunk, so
Well, that's true.
why do you think I have the hat on?
I know. Christmas is like a week and a half ago. Gosh, sure.
Hey, it's still cold here. My head gets
It's
cold.
still cold
And
here.
that's what she
It's
said.
like 20.
Oh,
It's like 20 degrees here.
Suck it up, cupcake.
Hey, Jacob, how cold is it in Selma, Alabama right now? It's 20 degrees where I'm at,
According to my computer.
or it will be 20
56.
degrees.
What is it?
All right, so it's 61 degrees
56
where I'm at
degrees.
right now.
Oh,
It's
for
supposed to be
fuck's
20.
sake.
Sorry,
It's like
Did you say
32
20?
here.
did you say 20 degrees Celsius?
No, Dan. Sorry, we're
Dan,
American. We don't
We
say
don't know
that.
what the hell that means.
Hang on one. 61 Fahrenheit. Let's see what this is about.
That's like 2 degrees Celsius or something
56
like
degrees
It is
Fahrenheit.
not.
16,
Fuck's sake.
16
There's an
degrees
F.
Celsius. That is British summertime, my friend. That is shorts weather.
See?
It's freezing cold here right now. It's 56.
56. Let's have a look at this. Okay, 56, 13. Yeah, it's a little bit chilly. You maybe put a jacket on with your shorts. I get that.
Freezing.
Dan, it's 0 here, essentially.
Okay, 0.
No, I
Which
mean
means it's
zero
like
17
Celsius.
degrees.
That's
No,
like
Oh,
80
0
degrees.
Celsius.
That's like
I was
80
gonna say
degrees
zero
where
Fa-
she's at.
0 Fahrenheit. That's like minus 17.
No, it's
Not
0
leave the
Celsius
house.
here. It's like 32 roughly.
Yeah, she
32,
lies. It's
yeah.
actually 87 degrees there.
Oh, bullshit.
Hey, you should go out and do that thing where they fill a pan with boiling water and throw it into the sky and watch it
You
freeze in
can't
real
you
time.
can't do that at 32. It has to be below 0. And yes, I've done it. It's fun.
Oh, what else have you done, Triv? What else have
All
you done?
kinds of shit that
I
you'll
put
never
on a
know
long
about.
sleeve shirt today.
Yay.
Ooh.
I put on pants today.
Space pants?
Boo.
Yeah, space pants. Here's a picture of my solar system. Boing. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, so grandmother gets run over. She guilt
By
trips
a
Anne into
Grandma
biting
got
her.
run over by a reindeer.
Grandma got
Walking
run
home
over by
from
an
our house
Adams.
chicken.
You could do some race
Walking home.
demons.
You
You
say
do.
there's no such thing as Walt Whitman, but
Well, they call him the streak.
Hey, did you know that there's also a grandpa one? It's Grandpa got run over by a beer truck. I don't remember the rest of this here song.
I
But
can
if
do the
you
song
want to hear more
Upstains.
about it, you can go up back and suck a dong.
You can go out back and suck a dong.
Yes. You want your dong on a bun or with mustard?
You know what's
sorry,
hilarious?
a massive, great big chunk of that conversation got frozen out, and I joined back with "Do you want your dong with mustard?" I don't want to know what the gap was. I'm quite happy just being in this situation now.
So, probably should do
Yeah,
the next narration.
Well, no, yeah. So she tricks grandma tricks her into loving her, and we have a beautiful Rocky homage while Jacobs reads the longest narration of his life.
Got the high and tire and the. As of this moment, the wonderful electric grandmother moved into the lives of children and father. She became integral and important. She became the essence. As of this moment, they would never see lightning, never hear poetry read, never listen to foreign tongues without thinking of her. Everything they would ever see, hear, taste, feel would remind them of her. She was all life, and all life was wondrous, quick, electrical, like grandma.
Dan, is this what the 4K unsimulated cut of Caligula is like?
Very much so. I'm
Forked.
going to need 5 minutes away from the mics, guys, to go and deal with some Caligula problems.
Oh, it's no problem at all.
See, Dan can walk away. We never know. Jacob like slowly walks away. I slowly walk away. And just like, and Chip just standing there with Chip's just staring up, going,
That's one of the things I do enjoy about Triv's avatar. Whenever she stands up to leave, her body slumps to the left, her mouth opens, and her eyes close. It's just like, eh.
She gets a strong arm.
Comes back. Yeah, yeah.
One of her arms gets little for some reason.
That
Yeah, there it is. There's the strong arm.
this one. This is the one you gotta watch.
And I don't want to know the science behind it.
Better not to ask.
So is that the end of the episode?
Oh, Nick, you're on mute.
Nick's always muted.
That's right. He doesn't like us.
See, I'm having conversations with my brain. My brain's like, no, you have to do this. No, I want to do this.
And your
mic's muted.
conversation is silent.
Yeah, I'm talking like this, and it's like Godzilla. It's just like, speaking of Godzilla -1, everybody should watch that. But, yeah, wow. So yeah, so all the
plus
kids
one.
plus one. That's the
Divided by
point
6.
version. Divided by 6. So the point 3.
Godzilla cubed. Towards Godzilla stuck in like this big cube, and all the rooms are the same. And he's going.
Is
the whole
that where
movie.
the fire comes out
subtitles.
like the
And the subtitles say.
So yeah,
experimental
the kids are all grown up now. They're gonna say goodbye to grandma. She's gonna go melt in a factory like the toys from Toy Story 3. Their mind's gonna be stored. Can you imagine like she goes in there and they just dump like hot boiling acid on her, and you see her face just melting away, and you see the eyeballs just kind of just like a big smile on the face. It's like it's just
Were all these
Right.
kids the same age?
they apparently
They're
all
like
look the same
triplets?
too.
Did they like
But you can
all
choose your
go into college
perfect
at the same
nanny.
time?
I guess like apparently the young boy is like 18, 20 now, and Anne's like 19, and
No wonder
Yeah,
the
how-
dad's got to work so much.
the dad.
Yeah.
I think the dad's dead at this point. I mean, he
That would
just
be my
doesn't-
assumption.
He's gone.
Apparently, his grandma killed him or something like that. She
So the
threw him in
state
front of-
left these kids in the charge of like a robot.
Yes.
I mean, they never mentioned the father ever
It's
again. So I'm assuming
progressive.
that's what happened.
That or maybe the guy stormed off the set and he's like, screw this, I'm not dealing with it. I'm being upstaged by a robot.
She took my
He's like-
germ.
He's like, I gotta go deal with a witch. I gotta go deal with a witch woman. And,
So do we reckon that underneath Nana's skin it looks like a Terminator or one of the Westworld robots? I'm going more towards Westworld, but I think Terminator's probably more accurate.
I like the Westworld ones more. They do some fucking
Mm.
and they're naked a lot of the time.
That is true.
And we're back to sexy grandma
I mean,
again.
she's got the padding, so I mean, why not?
you know, Josephine Hutchinson, she wasn't bad looking for someone that was in her. She died in 98. In 1903, she was born from Seattle. She
It's a tempting offer, but I just don't feel comfortable around hydraulics that close to my giblets. Thank you. So.
So no
She's
sex
very-
bots for you then, Dan?
I might let a few other people sort of like figure it out before I put my down payment on, put it that way. Let them lose their wang doodles and then we'll talk.
Hey, she was in North by Northwest.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Lots of Hitchcock crossover. Oh my god, I just
Lots Cock.
lots of cock crossover.
That was a cockroacher.
Fuck's sake. Oh my god. What have you guys
Yeah,
done to
she-
me?
She died in the Oregon Trail or Springfield, Oregon.
Did she die of
She was
dysentery?
yeah. She died
Oh,
crossing the yard.
Can't believe I'm the one doing this. But on a serious note,
Yeah.
I do like how in the end they say that like she'll after she says all this melting down shit and she'll go be assimilated into the hive of robots. Like she says that eventually she'll be like granted like humanity or become a
Life.
person or
Yeah.
life.
She's Skynet.
Which I really do think, I mean, really, that was the one thing that did stand out the most to me about this episode is it was very like ahead of the time about like how things, you know, we don't have robots like this per se nowadays, but like artificial intelligence, it is very much like that. I mean, like she'll go in because she talks about how she'll go and she'll like learn from the other robots or grandmas or whatever they are and learn from them and eventually be granted sentience. I guess I don't know if she's supposed to already be there, but like be essentially granted life, you know, opens up the question of what is life, you know, is life
Oh,
like
yeah.
being like flesh and blood, or is it your memories and who you are and all that? So I thought that was an
What's-
interesting talking point. Or
What's
an
that term
interesting-
robotics and AI meld with humanity. What's that word called? It begins with an S. It's not
Assimilation.
It's like what is it? Wait, what?
Assimilation or assimilation.
They call it something. It's not like synchronicity or something like that. It's something. It begins with an S, but it's basically when like AI technology or technology basically collides and forms into like one new type of human consciousness and stuff like that. It's
Sentience.
no, that's what we are right now. We're sentients.
Sentience will be what AI doesn't need a body to become sentient. That's what Skynet did. Then it
Yeah,
launched the
true.
missiles,
Mm.
but it was after
I'm Nate
1997.
Tired. Let have a nap.
John
Then
Connor
launch
was
the
in a
missiles.
bunker
Yeah,
with Claire Danes.
and a bunch of
It's
Windows 98 type equipment.
Mm.
this is gonna bother me. I always knew what the word was. You know when you know something, and then when you actually need to know it, you don't know it. Like you
Symbiotic.
forget.
But
That's what
not-
happens when you hit 40.
Sure, don't tell people my
Mm.
age. I'm 84. Damn it.
That is true.
Singularity. That's what it is. They say the singularity. It's basically when like AI and humans kind of it turned into like cyberpunk in a lot of ways. You know, the
Huh.
melding of robotics and humans and stuff like that.
I learned
It's when
something
AI.
new.
Yeah, it's when AI is supposed to like pass us and kind of take over our bodies and shit. 2045, by the way, or 20.
Huh.
Yeah, 2045.
Get everything
Yeah.
wrapped off. Wait
It
for
will
the
be.
robots
I'll
to
be
take
80.
our organs.
It'll be like that scene in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when Jay's in the bathtub and kidney's been taken out or whatever's been taken out.
Anyway,
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, anyways, so Grandma just leaves and she tells the kids to go up and go to sleep because they're bad children. It's Christmas. They wait for Santa, even though they're like 19, 20. I think it's funny. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but do you guys think it's kind of funny how she's like, I don't want you to see me leave. Just go upstairs to your room. Just go. And then she walks off to be melted.
well, that's kind of the
Such a
way that like
vibrator.
when someone is trying to get rid of an animal, they're like, just go away, just leave. I mean, they're kind of you don't want to
That's what
make
the
it
mother did
overly
to Haley
sentimental.
Joel Osment in AI. She just said, leave. So
Probably.
sad. Told her to go look for the blue fairy.
I mean, there was an alternate ending where Tommy had to take a gun and take Nana out the back and put her down. So that was less pleasant. Didn't go down as well with test audiences. So.
Yeah, Anne had to
Yeah.
go through a whole nother version of like grief and stuff because of it.
Was there like a robot in a field and a hunter was chasing after him and Anne gets away and then she hears a gunshot and then she comes back and looking for her grandma.
That's like where the red fern grows.
That or
I was supposed to read that book in elementary school.
Man, I bawled like a freaking bitch over that book.
I took
is it
the test.
also like when she strokes Nan Adams too hard and kills her and her her friend has to take her other friend out and kill him and
Sure.
I heard
Uh,
stroke.
Okay, I just came up with my favorite ending for this. She walks off and is immediately bundled into the back of a van. They take the van to a plane. They fly several vans out to a mysterious island. It turns out it's Battle Royale Robot Wars. Nana on Nana action. One Nana gets to leave and gets on another family. And it's broadcast on like the Twilight Zone version of Fox every night. We get to like vote which one gets machine guns. They're just
I'm done with when is the sex?
well,
that's after hours. So
that
all
like
the nans that
each
survive, all
night?
the nana, yeah, that's like the grannies that survive.
Okay.
Is it-
that's
is
the
the
plot.
story-
That's the plot twist. They ship one man to the island, and he has to
Ooh.
seduce all the nanas. And everyone that he does, he gets $100,000 and a year's supply of Hooters merchandise.
And he only gets like Survivor style to bring like one or two items.
Yeah,
to the
a
island.
luxury item and a personal item. That's it.
So he brought like a razor to shave his chest.
Yes.
I mean, you could tell a story about how Anne got locked up for 15 years and got let out and meets a guy and has sex with her and fights someone in the hallway and then finds out later that it was her brother, so she has to cut out her tongue and she's like has to,
With a ball peen hammer.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Good time.
As the
know.
camera moves back and forth, yeah.
Good to know.
Anyways, so
I'll series link.
so the grandmother walks off to be melted into a dong, and you hear closing narration.
Oh, that's me. A fable, most assuredly. But who's to say at some distant moment there might be an assembly line producing a gentle product in the form of a grandmother whose stock in trade is love. Fable, sure. But who's to say? In the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, you know, it's
I had to
funny
say the
thing.
last
You know
part.
the funny thing is you said, but who's to say? And I'm waiting for you to say Twilight, and I look over. Oh, there is no Twilight. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's one of the few that doesn't have that. One has like a mid credit or mid thing and then an end thing, and then it's also one that doesn't mention the Twilight Zone.
It doesn't. The
One of the
opening,
few.
not the closing.
Yeah. Never
Yeah.
mind. Strike
Um,
that. Apologies. I'm a dork.
break that. Bring it
No, but
back.
he almost always does in the closing.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah,
he doesn't
yeah.
in the opening, but the closing almost always has it. But not this time.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
Oh my
Yep.
god!
Hashtag
All right.
controversial.
Yep.
Right. uh, anyways, closing thoughts. Anything you guys want to talk about before we get into the actual 100th episode list?
There's always those episodes that aim for the heart and whatnot, and I can see what they were going for, and like we talked about before, I think there was a lot of good ideas, but there was, I don't know, like I can't, like I know you guys have kind of discussed it, but for myself, I can't say exactly what it was that it was lacking, like whether it was a case of where it needed more time to flesh it out or needed to focus more on kind of where it was going. I don't know. I don't know. It was fine. It was, like I said, inoffensive.
Number 32. I agree. It was unoffensive. It was fine. It was a sweet little story. I'm honestly probably not going to remember this one after a few episodes. So next week. It's not bad. It's just there's nothing truly memorable about it. The whole idea at the end where she talks about going back to the mainframe more or less, that was the most interesting thing to me because it was like, oh, that is like that's very similar to how things are now, and I thought that was neat. But beyond that, it's fine. It's okay, sure.
I'd agree with you guys. I think it was, again, by no means a bad episode. Pretty inoffensive. I think there have been other Twilight Zone stories that have tried to do this kind of bittersweet charm and have done it better, significantly better.
Yeah.
There have been other ones that have done it way, way worse. It wasn't, again, I think probably the best thing to say is it's probably not one that would stick in my mind as a go-to episode. It's just kind of there, and it tries and it does some interesting things, but I think had it had just like 10 minutes or more, maybe it probably would have been able to sort of add a bit more complexity or nuance there, which I think would have really just helped it to get that last step up. As it stands, it's just kind of like, okay, what's next?
I think they could have done more with it. I guess it doesn't seem like they really did much with it, with the idea.
Yeah.
It's like they put the idea out there, but the thing that they were going to do with the idea, they never really did.
Yeah.
I guess it was
They
supposed to be
spent
the
a
little
long
girl.
time. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say they spent a lot of time like talking, and I know you break out an episode the way you break out an episode, but they spent so much time like talking through there are eyes to see and ears to hear, and I understand for a 60s audience you would probably have to give a little bit more description to those things, but it felt like they spent a lot of time like on that, and then you got a lot of time on the Rocky montage. I think you could have kept it more, not present tense, but like, and I agree the mainframe thing at the end was probably the most interesting bit, but to kind of see that growth over the course of time where, earning the trust of Anne and fleshing that out a bit more would have maybe, I don't know.
I think it would have been more interesting had we seen her in the future, like come back like when they're older or something, like have another time jump. Instead of, I agree with you, having all that time in the store with the eyes and stuff, it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's neat. Served no purpose whatsoever for the entire episode except to show the little girl didn't give a fuck. But I mean, we already knew that, and we could have learned that in other ways. They could have cut that entirely out and just read the thing and been like, oh, we can make somebody, and then she just shows up. And hey, she's a robot. Okay, moving
or
forward.
as soon as Anne ran out, then you go off and do something else, because we have no reference as to what the mother looked like, so it wouldn't really, the kids choose they don't really change the course of anything.
The little girl could have said that same dialogue to the dad while I was looking in the magazine, and we would have gotten the idea. Okay, she's got a thing, and then move on. And then they could have taken that 5 to 8 minutes, however long they spent, a really long time they spent in that store, and gave us another flash forward and shown her years later or something when they were older, and maybe like with whatever, I don't know, knowledge or how she would have been different when she does, if she comes back or when she gets back out, this whole earning life thing. Maybe like closer to the end of their lives, she shows up and she's like, oh, I'm alive now too, and all this or that or something. I think that would have been more interesting.
Right.
But
that actually would have been really cool.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna die. I guess I'm gonna be the only one that actually enjoyed this episode because I
didn't.
I mean,
It's fine.
once again, like maybe I was a little tired when I watched the episode, so that may have changed my opinion because things do that when you're tired. But I enjoyed it because it felt hopeful. It didn't feel like downtrodden like a lot of Twilight Zone episodes do. And I don't know. For me personally, I enjoy that every once in a while. I know we talk about sometimes they get a little too hokey in their hopefulness, and I don't know. I felt the grandmother was somebody that really cared, even though she was a robot, and the kids are, they're stereotypes, but they have a little bit of, you understand that why Anne feels the way she does, because, when things happen, when family members die or whenever, you feel like you're, responsible for it, and you want to be like upset by it, but a lot of times, it's not your fault. And that's how I felt with, when I, like my little brother died and stuff like that. It's like you feel you like her in a lot of respects. So I get what they were doing. The problem with the episode is just I hate like montages. Like if you're gonna do that, you might as well just make it a 50-minute episode and be done with it, because you could have added so much more interesting things. And then the father just disappears. I mean, he's probably like this is only like 10 years later. So if he had a heart attack, I guess, but he just disappears.
Needed for what they were trying to convey at that point.
Well, but these could have responded, tell your father, I appreciate everything he did for me, and all the late night sex that we had, and I don't know.
I'm not saying I think he wasn't. I think that's why he wasn't there, is because for what they were trying to convey, and they ramped it up there at the end to like get to the end. I don't think that they were like, we don't need him. Just
I mean, he was doing
probably
he's been in there in the background, like I'm Walt Disney and this is Snow White.
Well, and that was the thing too. I think to show the conveyance of time, and to show like maybe she became, I mean, not mother to them, but because I guess that guy always has looked old to me, especially seeing him in color. But like, he looked like he was in his late 50s when they were small. So
yeah, and
obviously the way that family dynamics worked back in the 60s, I mean, it was possible to have a much older father and a much younger mother. That the way that they married, that was kind of to some extent what they did.
I'm 11 years old with my wife.
No, but I mean, like 20 some odd years or something. I mean, that's the guys always looked older, and whether they were or not. I mean, like the way they try and convey, oh, this guy's 35 when he looks 50. I mean, you look nothing like that, man.
What are you trying to say, Trev? What are you trying to say?
You look good for 84, Nick.
I'm 86, damn it. It's been 2 years. I'm still dying on that Titanic. I don't know.
Yay.
I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's for a lot of people it'd be middle of the road, because it definitely is a different Twilight Zone than what we're used to and what most people are used to. So I don't know. How
would you convey, or how would you compare this to something like The Lonely? Like in the way that it works within the robot character.
I like this better than The Lonely, but that's just me.
Really?
I know Jacob. Me personally, I liked it because The Lonely just kind of, he shoots her in the face with a gun. It's like, wow, that was depressing.
Something to say. I feel like it had like this had a message. I don't know. I feel like The Lonely had more of a concise message and a more
like I said, it's been so long since we watched The Lonely.
True.
This is my first episode.
I know. That's why
I'm just thinking. I was trying to think of other robot episodes, and that was the first one that kind of came to mind.
There's that video one.
Yeah, true. But that was such a different episode.
The episode was terrible.
Yeah.
It's an offshoot, but there's that one with I can't remember the name of the episode. The one with the guy where his house suddenly like comes to life and he's got like a killer car and
the thing about machines.
Start trying to murder him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's better than that.
The Mighty Casey.
Oh yeah, that one is too.
That
The
was
one thing I
just
will say about this, and I'm with you, Nick, on that aspect, like the way that they talk through group, especially in the 60s, and not to say that they couldn't have concise, real conversations, but by and large, for network TV, I don't think you probably would have gotten a lot of those kinds of episodes outside of things like the Twilight Zone. And again, this is me spitballing from the 10 odd TV shows I grew up from that time. But I don't think it was probably a thing that was talked about realistically. So
Yeah.
I do agree with you on that respect. It was nice to
Right.
see.
No, I mean it's in the end, it's not the best thing I've ever seen, but like I said, I had a little soft spot for it, but
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
Why are a lot
it's-
of the listings in the ranking have numbers randomly
because
added?
I was tired when I wrote that.
Oh.
Because when I go down the list, I'm putting the number beside it, but sometimes it moves it. I don't just know that.
Dream. The Hitch
Chance
8
that.
liquor. A penny for 9, your thoughts. Persons 080 persons unknown.
Is that like penis stretchers being shoved into things?
Yes, exactly.
Yay.
I was trying to see it. I was seeing how long it would be take before you guys noticed it. Anyways, so yeah, that is. Oh shit, I just forgot where was that. Oh shit, where's the list? There we go. But that is episode 100 of the Twilight Zone, season 335. I think of the Body Electric. So there you go, 100 episodes of the Twilight Zone. We have 50 more to go. Season 4 is like 85 of those episodes. So, good lord,
We'll get through it.
Season 4 is like, I don't know what's worse, season 4 or the videotape episodes. We'll find out
It's my
when Jake's
first
watching.
time for season 4, so like I'm relying on you guys to be my AA support group. I'm going to need help to get through these ones because having ADHD, I struggle at the best of times to sit through things, let alone if they're an hour long and slow. So
You might end up being the only one. You might be one of the only people that actually enjoys these episodes. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how they play out, but
I think like all of these, it's going to come down to the individual episodes. I mean, and we've talked about this, how there are some episodes that would do better with less, but then there's ones where you would do better with more. So not, and again, this is me spitballing off of general memory, but like there are episodes in season 4 that are excellent, and there are ones that suck balls the same way as every other season. So it is going to take longer to get through them, but some of them will be better because of that extra time. And there
You
will
have
be
me
some
in
that will
suck
suck.
balls.
I did that for you.
Oh my god! All right. So with that said, let's do the Twilight Zone ranking list, the greatest ranking list now that we're 100 episodes in.
32.
I was gonna say number 3.
No.
really,
I don't
Really?
know.
I mean, when I was going through it, I looked at the list and I kind of the range I found out. I didn't like this as much as Mr. Denton on Doomsday. I actually kind of liked that one more.
God,
I know
you're
that's
like way
fairly
down there.
down. And I kind of narrowed it down to between 82 and 92. And then when Jacob said about a thing about machines, that made me go, oh yeah, actually, a thing about machines sucked. So I'm kind of, for me at least, I kind of put it somewhere between 82 and 86. But on the upper half, maybe so closer to 82 than 86. But I'm probably way off
Ooh.
you guys. So
That's right under a piano in a
house. Now, I will say for reference, and again, we don't necessarily play this in, but to give you an idea of where other people have ranked it, IMDb ranked this at 102 out of all of the episodes, and Paste listed this at 127. So,
Man, I put this like above the Lonely, but that's just me.
I was kind of looking around the Lonely, just because not that they're the same thing, but they kind of deal with like not a relatively intimate relationship, family dynamics, all that kind of thing, and how you work within that dynamic. So I could see it being around there or slightly below, but
Jacob, she said below.
I did say below.
What number's the Lonely?
68.
Right
No,
above
60.
69.
Yeah, 68.
I like the Lonely more than this.
hmm.
But if it went above the Lonely, I'm not heartbroken about
I mean,
There's some
you
good
got
ones, though,
22, The Midnight
got,
Sun,
yeah, midnight.
Died Man's Shoes, Young Man's Fancy, which we talked about 8 weeks ago.
The Big Tall Wish.
it. I do 71 in that area.
What
Well,
was the arrival?
70, 71.
I don't remember what the arrival was. Was that?
That says a lot about the arrival.
I can
It
remember
had
the
to be.
Midnight Sun was one I quite enjoyed because wasn't that the one where there's the woman in the boiling hot apartment
Yeah,
and like everybody's slowly
but it's
going
actually
mad?
freezing.
I liked the Midnight Sun more than. And
the
Dead Man's
Rivals
Shoes I thought
were-
was quirky.
That's what I'm
I think the
trying to
rival is the guy that's trying to find out why the plane came back.
Flight 107 arrives on schedule without passengers, pilots, or baggage.
Yeah, it's the one with the detective. We find out is insane.
Oh yeah.
Episode sucked.
Oh yeah, the one with the Patton.
Yeah, George C. Scott.
Yeah, George
Yep.
Scott.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Above the arrival, below the mirror. The mirror is the one with the Hispanic guy from the Princess Bride.
Oh,
Really?
I'd put this at 69.
Yeah,
That's
I
what she
bet you
said.
would.
I'm okay
I
with
don't know.
that.
Put it above the arrival.
No, well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, above the mirror, right? 69 with bump.
Yeah,
into
that's-
the
Yeah,
front.
yeah.
That's what I meant. I don't want to do that. Why am I doubling numbers?
I have no idea.
So you tell I'm tired. I'm putting like 74 choice. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do it at 69, dudes.
Woo!
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
100th
What a-
episode, 69.
Woo!
What episode did we just talk about?
I sing the
100.
body electric.
Sing the body
Thank you.
electric.
I sing the body electrico. All right. Cool.
Mr.
So-
Lucas died.
All right. So with that said, dude number 69, I sing the body electric. Number 100 is The Trouble with Templeton. 100 episodes, Jesus. Number 1, So the Eye of the Beholder. Go ahead, guys. Say it.
Number 82
83.
is
Piano in
the
house.
house.
Oh man. So there you go. So they have to do that every episode to remind me of where the piano in the house is.
Damn right.
Yeah, exactly.
Better than
It's
a
in
penis stretcher in
The
the
house.
house.
Whose house?
The
Our
house
house.
in the middle of a street. Our house. Anyways, so the next episode is season 3, episode 36, which is Cavender is Coming, directed by Christian Nyby, written by Rod Serling, stars Jesse White and Carol Burnett and Howard Smith.
Yay.
So
Love
Carol Burnett,
Burnett.
good actress, had her own
Oh,
show,
Amazing.
very funny show. And then after that is the last episode of the 3rd season before we commit suicide. So, anyways, guys, it's been fun. We're 100 episodes in. We get to go past 100 episodes. It is January 1st, so I actually have slept somewhat because I think I have the day off because I'm not tired like I am now. So
I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning.
Oof.
I've been up since I got you beat. I've been up since 1. Ha!
Yeah, but you're about to
I've
go
been up
sleep.
since like
This is true. Jacob's
about
not
to
gonna sleep
go-
till 5 o'clock in the morning.
I had a full
Good-
8
good
hours
stuff.
of British sleep and woke up at midday. 'Cause
yeah.
I'm on vacation and having a lovely time.
You son
I
of a
was
bitch.
woken up at 3 by my cat.
It was good
Also bad.
times. Yeah.
Oof.
Anyways,
Woken up by 3 because I had to go pee.
I was already awake at 3. I hadn't gone to bed yet. I was watching the Agfa Christmas special with Triv.
Yay. D. Snyder, baby.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And Wizzo the Clown.
There you go.
Not so
And
much yay.
Svengoolie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Svengoolie was in there.
Mm.
All right. Anyways, Dan, it's wonderful. Thank you for coming on our 100th episode. You're much
Woohoo.
beloved and loved, and you send us squashies, so it's much deserved. That's all. That's all that matters. As long as you keep sending squashies, you can keep appearing on these episodes.
I was going to say, as long as the bribes keep working, then and that's all good by me. And thank you so much
As
again,
long-
all, for having me on. It's always been a pleasure and a privilege to take part in your mad sex games that you do every week.
Yeah, keep sending me dildo candy. We'll be good to go.
That happened.
Yes, they sent me a blue dildo candy pop. Just to let you know, Jacob.
Veiny.
I know,
Yeah,
I saw it.
yeah, that's
I
right.
think Trish showed me a picture. So I've seen this. I don't know where I saw it, but I've seen it.
You saw it on the naked dating show.
That's right.
I may have seen it there too.
But actually, Dan, where's your content at?
So obviously I'm around. I'm on YouTube under TYTD Reviews. I'm also on Twitter and Blue Sky under TYTD Reviews. Had a very long absence from making content for the last few months, basically because of like random crap going on in my personal life, and also my throat decided it suddenly didn't want to work anymore. So I had like 8 months of being in very bad pain and then 3 or 4 months of recovery. But I'm back, baby, and I've got a new season, funnily enough, starting on the 5th of January. So by the time this goes out, it'll be just a few more days till we go live again. And we'll be covering a film
Excellent.
called Beyond the Seventh Door, which is
Oh, I love
just
that movie. It's a
it's
funky
so
ass
much
little
fun.
piece.
Oh yeah.
Triv loves the
It's a
seventh
really
door.
good-
I do
She
love the
likes the
seventh door.
69th door.
Did I? No, you already saw that. I hadn't recommended that to you.
You did
thought I did.
indeed.
Oh, sweet. Yay.
You told me it was a great film. I went and bought it. It was a great film. Very entertaining with Canadian Tommy Wiseau. It's fantastic.
Oh my god, yeah.
All you had to say was Tommy Wiseau, and you had me that hello.
I did
Should
not.
also
I
watch-
did not.
Should also watch Ryan's Babe.
Oh god, that
Oh.
was,
Yes.
was that the one that you did the deep dive on, Jake?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was
That's
a
when
movie.
they
and a-
stopped doing deep dives.
Oof.
Jacob, you do deep dives into many things.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
I got the
You have
kids to prove
content.
it.
That's right.
I have content on 2 channels. Jacob Andrews Reviews. I actually released a video. Maybe I might do more videos. We'll see. And Retro Jake XY, where I release other videos, which I'm working on a video right now. I kickstarted that back up here recently. So
Woohoo.
more of that will be coming soon, and more other content on both those channels will be coming soon.
Excellent. And thank you, Jacob, for appearing on 89 episodes or whatever it's been. So I do appreciate it.
80,
Triv,
80,
yeah, I think it's like 88 or 89 episodes, but it's been awesome. But Triv, you've been with me since the very beginning. You were doing your weird thing with your mouth. I don't know what you're doing, but thank you
I'm
for
smiling. What's wrong?
no, you're like
This is me smiling.
no, either way, thank you for appearing on 100 episodes with me. Like I said, you
Aw.
joined with the very beginning. So back before I was not willing to do another podcast, and Triv's like, yeah, we should do the Twilight Zone. And I'm like, no. She's like, yes. I'm like, no. And she's like, well, we're doing it anyways. I'm like, fine, fuck it. We're going live. So either way, thank you, Triv. It's been awesome. We have like 56
welcome.
more episodes to go with this podcast. So at least for the original series. So anyways,
Yay.
you have content, you put out stuff. Where's that at?
So I promise I am no longer making content like one video a month. Hopefully life doesn't throw any more wrenches, because that would be really nice. Anyway, you can find my stuff on Trivial Theater. I will have uploaded a collab on a movie called Killer Raccoons 2 Dark Christmas in the Dark on Christmas Day. And hopefully I will be able to get back on my horse and actually put out consistent content. So that is the plan. Next thing up at this point will have been Blood-Sucking Pharaohs from Pittsburgh. Hoping that should be out right around this time, if not shortly after. So keep an eye out.
Yeah. And you were on with Christmas Eve with me with Babes in Toyland. We talked
Absolutely.
about the 2.5 hour monstrosity. And we also
never choose the director's cut. That's all I'm gonna say.
she was like, we're watching the director's cut. I'm like, are you sure you want to do that? But I put out, as of this point, I put out my best, and we'll call it worst.
Just say worst.
Disappointed. We'll just call it whatever it is. I put
Well,
out
the things
like 3 or
that
4
suck
videos.
the most.
Exactly. Yeah, I put out two of the best videos, because I have 20 movies and worse and upcoming I'm looking forward to. So without further ado, once again, thank you guys for joining me on 100 episodes, and we'll be back with next week with the 101st episode, which is Cavender's coming. So for myself, Triv, Jacob, and Dan, we'll see you guys next time in the Twilight Zone. Peace out, motherfucker.
Why aren't you waving, Dan? Wave, damn it!
My logo is vibrating as hard as it can.
Oh,
Jake,
actually, I
you're
don't
kind
know.
of truly though, you're kind of blowing out the mic a bit. I don't know if you've got your settings high or a little bit. Yeah,
Oh, because I'm at 36 decibels. Oh, sorry.
Blowing the
that
mic.
does. Yeah.
That's okay. I
Quit
thought he was doing
sucking
it for
on
dramatic
it.
effect. 100th episode, go a bit louder, you know.
Am I blowing
Yeah.
the mic out?
No,
Am I-
you sound fine.
Ooh.
How about
I'm supposed to be a better death metal.
Welcome to the
Jacob.
Twilight Zone.
Ah.